All right, well, welcome everybody to Meaningful Monday. Here we are in the beginning of June. Had to check that. So here I am in South Africa. Thank you ever so much to everyone who's joined, and I want to thank the new people for coming along, and very warm welcome to you. And I really do invite you to come back every single first Monday of the month to Meaningful Monday. And if you get value out of this hour and a bit, then that's what will make me the most happy. And then to the people who are repeaters here, welcome back. And some of you are always here, so extra welcome back because you're here every time. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about sort your health out. Sounds a bit confrontational, but really and truly, when you get through the content which I want to share with you, many of you may know this. Many of you may find it as a reminder, but sometimes the biggest gap in the world is that we know and that we actually do. So we often know what we could be doing to improve our health and get rid of disease, and we don't necessarily always apply it. So it's really about just the application of the knowledge. And if you're new to Meaningful Monday, just to say, all of these are recorded. They're on my YouTube channel, which is either Silva Method Australia. There's an Australia missing at the bottom in the words there. Silva Method Australia is the YouTube channel, or my name. All right. And this is just really to help raise awareness and spread love and light. And at the end, we'll do a quick guided meditation. All right. So let's just start off, with this topic of disease. So disease is literally dis-ease. Now, this is a massive distinction between these two words, because when we just talk about disease, the way we've just throw the term out loosely, disease seems often like an infliction on a person, and you then are just at the receiving end, almost like a victim. But the minute we put that tiny hyphen to break the word up, which is actually the original root word, and we talk about dis-ease, it changes that whole infliction upon me victim thing to actually an empowered, taking full responsibility for myself kind of word, because dis-ease means you're uneasy, and we can control our level of emotional uneasiness and our thoughts that go with that. There's just a lot of people coming on now. I just want to welcome them. Okay. Welcome to the new people who've
Hi.
just come on. Hi. Is that Anna? Welcome,
Yes,
Anna. How did you hear about Meaningful Monday?
I got an email from you, but I've sort of been following you for a while because I'm from the Concord area as well, and you came up
Okay.
in one of my feeds, and yeah.
Excellent. And Nathan, welcome, Nathan. And I don't know if I've missed anyone. If I have, I apologize, but you're all welcome. All right, so then just this distinction between disease, which is like a victim mode where we get something, versus dis-ease, which is an empowered mindset about it. And when we talk about dis-ease, basically when we're defining it, it's emotional dis-ease. And I have to say that it's proven, I don't want to give the number, but we know 96 to about 99%, somewhere in that range, even if we said 95% or more, of all disease has a known emotional root cause. And when we say there's an unknown emotional, or there's an unknown cause, just remember also that even a baby born with a condition is in the energy field of its mother. So it's never kind of isolated, even from conception. So if the mother's under emotional stress or high degree of fear or anger or resentment, or whatever it may be, that small fetus is in that energy field. So when we understand it's about the emotions within us, all dis-ease has an emotional root cause, and it can be from not addressing an issue at a subconscious level. Now that might say, well, how do I address it if it's subconscious? Because subconscious means below your level of awareness. Well, there are ways to do that. some people here, like Hanen, you actually practice hypnotherapy. She's, helps people with it. That's one way. Another way, even in the Silva Method, there are a host of opportunities with the techniques we have in the Silva Method to address unknown subconscious issues, whatever those issues may be, whether they're trauma or bad memories, blocked emotions, limiting beliefs, suppressed emotions, even if you can't remember them. There are ways to unlock them. And, sometimes us as human beings, when we don't enjoy negative emotion, especially when we're very young and don't really know how to deal with it, and specifically at a childhood age, then the way that we try to get away from those emotions is to forget about them, block them, suppress them. But you can never really suppress a negative emotion. It's not something you can suppress. It's just the same as, you push something down here and it pops out over there, and you push it down here and it pops out over there. And even if it takes 30 years, it will come out. So, there's a lot of, you might know this yourselves. It's a very common thing. For example, women often have nervous breakdowns between 30 and 55 of some childhood trauma or abuse that they had as a small child. And that's just evidence that you cannot actually suppress negative emotion. It does manifest at some point, and often it comes out at a time where maybe we need to deal with it, and we can deal with it. And even though the person looks like they're having a nervous breakdown or something and they can't deal with it, well, at that age, at that time, it's the right time to then deal with it. But we do have to, at some point, deal with it. And suppressed emotions, especially strong emotions like anger, grief, guilt, hatred, resentment, jealousy, I can go on and on. There are many more than just these. These are really strong emotions. And if we have to think about ourselves as a human being, well, we're made up of a body that's physical, and then we got systems in our body, and our systems are made up of organs and tissues. And at the lowest level of the tissues, we've got molecules, atoms, and then subatomic particles. And subatomic particles are really, it's just energy in a state of vibration, energy particles spinning. And emotions are a very strong force of energy, and they can have a change and an effect. Let me just on the atoms which make up the molecules and the tissues of our body. So as we change our emotional state, we're literally changing the molecular structure at the lowest level of our body. And if that energy, that state of vibration, is negative and continuous, that negative effect on the molecules which make up our body are out of harmony, and over a long period of time with repetition start to become a dysfunction. And that's what we mean when we say the word is dis-ease. That's what disease is. If you remove that emotional negative energy, the body's automatic default setting is perfect health. So when people say get out of your own way and you'll heal, it's literal. When we say get out of your own way, we mean mentally and emotionally. Change the thoughts and change the feelings that you're holding, and the body has an opportunity to go back to perfect health. That's why something like meditation is so powerful in healing. Why? Because you just stop thought. Even if it's for 15 minutes a day, the body is so powerful as an organism to bounce back to health. So powerful if you just give it that small chance and release something that's contaminating it. And energy can be a contaminant, even though energy is not something you can hold or touch or see or smell, taste. So a buildup of this dis-ease manifests or expresses itself as disease in the body. And for many of you who may not have heard this before, the subconscious mind is the body. So also the emotional mind is the subconscious mind. So if you think about that, the emotional mind being the subconscious mind, every memory, every emotion you ever feel is actually stored somewhere in the body, in every cell. I know it's very hard to conceive. How does this work in a cell you've seen under a microscope and you learned it at school, I suppose. And you think, how does this all work? But it really is true. everything that happens to us is stored in our body, and we do have something called an energy body, and we have a mental body, an emotional body, spiritual body, physical body, but we also have an energy body because we are in a state of vibration. So I just wanted to start this presentation off talking about the distinction between disease and dis-ease, because when we see the word as dis-ease, then we can absolutely take responsibility and be empowered to start moving towards better health and to help people. If you're healthy and you know people that are not healthy, share this with them, converse with them, talk to them, and find more literature and books on it and other people's webinars. I just want to read this. It looks a bit long, but I'll go through it pretty quickly. It just helps to make the educated background of what I'm speaking about. It says here the role of the mind in disease. Okay. It's well known that stress causes a multitude of diseases, but the question is why? So if we look at basic biology, we learn of the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. In short, when a stressful situation arises, so for example, a stressful situation for the human being when he first came onto this planet is something like a tiger. So if there's a tiger on the horizon, we're designed to drop into our sympathetic nervous system, which we call the fight or flight response, which you've heard before. Now, when activated, all our energy goes to our arms and our legs so that we can run away or we can get into a fight because we're meant to survive. Now, if we make it and then we calm down, we're in a safe place, and what happens is the blood and energy then releases and diverts and goes back into the limbs, goes back to our brains, back into the trunk and core with all the organs in our body and our bodily system. So just as an example, one system is the digestive system. Now, let's just stop there and talk about that. We know when it says back to our brains, when you in the fight or flight response, you can't think. That's why people say, when I had the argument with this person and I just couldn't think, I wish I could have said this and I wish I could have said that. Because you literally can't think because blood doesn't rush to the brain. It just goes to your arms and legs to help you fight. And we know that if we're stressed, we get problems like IBS, digestive disorders, ulcers, stomach cramps. Kids also always feel sick in the stomach when they're stressed. And even that feeling, the term, I'm sick in my stomach, is literal. And just one example is the digestive system. I'm not saying it's the only place that gets it. It's just one example. So it says the digestive system and other physical systems cease to function when stressed, which accounts for a plethora of digestive issues. Now, when we relax, the body continues normal function, and that's the parasympathetic system when it goes back to normal. And any needed maintenance, rest and reset and restoration and repair all happens when we are in a relaxed state. Now, unfortunately, with constant stress from all directions for many people, the tiger never comes and the tiger never goes. There is no tiger, but we just live in this stressed out nervous system habitual pattern. And I don't know about any of you listening here, but I had that years ago when I was in corporate. I was a mouse in a wheel, stressed every day, and it became my normal set point was stress. And then what you actually get is a threshold of stress, and people actually get so used to it that when they're not stressed and they relax, they feel edgy, they feel restless, they don't know what to do because they are so used to being in this fight or flight response. And that's what we call constant stress, which can actually result in something called stuck stress. Now, this in turn means that their immune system functions poorly, as do most of their bodily systems. Now, finite resources are pillaged, resulting in dis-ease and premature aging. And just think about premature aging. Look at a man like Deepak Chopra. That guy looks fantastic for his age. Even Ken, who trains the Silva Method, he looks at least 20 years younger than what he actually is. And that's just from continuously meditating and reversing stress and staying in a very relaxed state. So I want to just put that there so we understand that this is actually in our control. It absolutely is. It's 100% in our control. And if we don't think it's in our control, it just means that we don't have strategies or techniques or tools on how to manage and reduce stress. But I'm going to share some with you today on this webinar, and absolutely, if you apply them, your health will improve. Now, the autonomic nervous system is comprised of two parts, the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. The sympathetic nervous system activates the fight or flight response, which I mentioned, during a threat or a perceived danger. And the parasympathetic nervous system is what we need to activate to restore the body, to bring it back to a state of calm and perfect health. Now, I have a video here, which I'll show you in a second. I just want to activate the sound for you. Now, in the chat box, please answer this question. The fight or flight response. Now, my question is from what? Because we activate the fight or flight response as a caveman, our original building blocks as a human body. In the original days, when we did see tigers on the horizon, and if we saw this as a real threat, we would trigger the fight or flight response. But guys, there are no tigers around in the streets. So my question is, put in the chat box, what are we in a fight or flight response from? It's just a fun guessing game. What are we in a fight or flight response? If it's not a tiger, then what is it that we are trying to run away from? We are trying to run away from something. What is it? We know it's stress, but from what? What is it? What is the thing? People, okay, self, family members. Thank you, Lynn. I agree with that. What else? Work, okay, and environment, problems. Christine, you're the closest. She says fear of losing things. Boss, yep. Unknown and uncertainties, yes, agreed. All of these things, okay, fear of the future, Hanen, you're also close onto it. So we've got, as the answers we're getting, the lack of control. Your lack of control gives us a feeling of what? Fear of the future, we know is fear. Keep going. All right, so you are all fear itself. Thank you, Jacinta. So fear is the problem. What is fear? It's, look at this. Sharere, if that's how you pronounce your name, very warm welcome to you, and thank you for joining.
Is he doing that now?
Sorry. So you got your anger, fear, losing control, hopelessness, and helplessness. Absolutely. You are very educated on this subject. So Sharere, welcome to tonight. I haven't met you before, but very warm welcome. So these, anger, fear, losing control, helplessness, hopelessness, are what we call our core emotions, our core experiences. Thanks, it's a pleasure. So the thing that we're running away from, it's not a tiger. My friends, it's emotions. I want you just to let this message land. When you get this, you might feel more empowered to heal your bodies, heal your life, heal your relationships, heal each other, when we actually understand that we're trying to run away from our negative emotions. We don't like to feel negative emotions. And because we don't like to feel them, we resist them. And in this resistance, we may not process them correctly. And this is extremely important when it comes to health. So if you just look at this is just one simple example. I just jumped onto Google and Googled, I don't know what, emotions and disease, and I found this picture, and it's absolutely accurate. If you just look on the right-hand side here, these emotions, frustration, sadness, shame. Shame is huge. It's a very powerful negative emotion. Fear tops the list. Grief, terrible. Guilt. Guilt always results in pain. If you've got pain in your body, there's underlying guilt there. How do I just say that? If you read books like Louise Hay's Heal Your Life, I recommend it to anyone who has got any health issue whatsoever, or Jill Edwards' Conscious Medicine. The body's a language, so guilt definitely results in pain. Sadness or suppressed grief or suppressed anger often result in cancer. Depression, very powerful and dense negative emotion. Despair, that's the lowest level of the emotional ladder, is despair. You've got to have hope in your life to move upwards. Envy and jealousy, very, I'm going to say the word, excuse me, toxic. They're very toxic emotions. They'll eat you up. Doubt's terrible because it doesn't seem like a big deal, but this is a thing that grows. Doubt slowly grows into indecision, into fear, and it can be quite immobilizing. So just a few, there's obviously much more on this. You can talk about this for days, not just hours, but stress just shows you, affects the heart, I think that's the brain, anger, that's the liver, grief, weakens the lungs. Asthma is often related in small children who can't express themselves, and they result in asthma. Fear, kidneys, adrenaline, cortisol, definitely the adrenal glands on top of the kidneys get affected and affect the kidneys over a long term. That's what adrenal fatigue comes from, just prolonged stress. Worrying all the time affects the stomach, digestive system. So this is just a fraction. This is just the tip of the iceberg if you had to delve into health conditions. Just to run through a few, anger causes an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. We know that. Stress contributes to heart disease, increases blood pressure, increases cholesterol. Stress can lead to other terrible health conditions in the digestive tract, like gastritis, stomach ulcers, duodenal ulcers, colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, asthmatic conditions, hypertension, high blood pressure, heart disease. Extreme fear causes disease and pain in your adrenal glands, your lower back, your kidneys, your urinary tract disorders. This is a fraction of the iceberg. Every single thing that you can know that's a health condition, even acne or psoriasis, dermatitis, mouth ulcers, styes in the eye, conjunctivitis, anything, itchy scalp, dandruff, any condition whatsoever has got an emotional root cause most of the time, over 95% of the time. So I'm going to share with you quickly 8 ways that we can actually heal disease. Alan says, fear is false evidence appearing real. Yes. Or face everything and recover. Hallelujah. Well done, Alan. I like face everything and recover. And that's true. When it comes to fear and negative emotions, facing it is actually the pathway out, because you've got to go through it. Sitting with negative emotion and just experiencing it, if you did that and just allowed yourself to feel that, it actually dissipates. But if we wish I didn't feel this way, because we dislike negative emotions quite a lot as a human being, it stays. So what you resist persists, and actually what you embrace dissipates. So that Ellen said there is very true. Face everything and recover. My favorite book. Which book is that? Anna, share the book. Or was it Heal Your Life by Louise Hay?
Yeah, Louise Hay.
Oh, absolutely. Fantastic book. And everyone would benefit from reading it. And here's Louise Hay, whose quote. Now, this quote says, I do not fix my problems. I fix my thinking. I fix my thinking. Then problems fix themselves. So when I said earlier, when we started the webinar, about being disempowered with disease or empowered with dis-ease, it's really about that taking responsibility. And this is what she means, Louise, when she says, I fix my thinking. If we take responsibility for our thoughts and our feelings, we may never be sick. Or if we are, we will definitely get better. But as I say, if is the big word. So here are 8 things. I'm going to share with you 8 steps to heal. And they're obviously more than this. I'm just giving you 8. The first one is visualize. And we know how powerful visualization is. Now, this is on the positive side of life. Rhonda Byrne says, visualization is the process of creating pictures in your mind of yourself enjoying what you want. And this includes health. So when you visualize and you feel and see yourself healthy, you generate powerful thoughts and feelings. There's the word, feelings, emotions, positive emotions of actually having that state of health or whatever it may be, even if it's wealth or abundance. We're just talking about health tonight, of actually having it now in the present moment. And even though it's in your imagination, in that moment, in the present, your body's experiencing it as if it's real and as if it's now, because the subconscious mind cannot distinguish between imagination and reality. And that is the most powerful information you could ever know, because if you know that, then it's saying you can create any state of being in the present moment using the power of creative visualization. And if the brain can't distinguish between imagination and reality, and you keep on visualizing and feeling like you are getting better or healthier, the brain thinks it's real. Do it again, do it again, do it again. And through repetition, it starts to program the brain to say, I'm better, I'm getting better, I'm experiencing better. And it follows. So, as a man thinketh, so is he. Thoughts and feelings go first, and then the body follows. So it says the law of attraction then returns that reality to you, just as you saw it in your mind. In the Silva Method, in healing, remote healing, we do remote healing to heal others with or without their knowledge, and it still works, or to heal ourselves. And then in dynamic healing of the Silva Method, of course, we did just about a month and a bit ago, we do actual hands-on healing. But either way, where it says the law of attraction, in the Silva Method, we say we are not repelling things, we are causing to attract. So in other words, when we focus energy on perfect health of an organ or a body by closing our eyes and focusing our energy, then in the energetic quantum field, we are creating that state and that image in a non-physical way. And then once you've created that in a non-physical way, the law of attraction will attract to it. So you'll actually change the state of vibration and the molecular structure and the organization of the molecules and atoms towards that energy of that vision that you're holding with positive emotion. And that's how the law of attraction also plays a role in healing. It's not just in creating money or achieving goals or solving problems. It's with the health in the body as well. It all is the law of attraction. And like attracts like. So you hold that image of health in your mind, and everything is responding to it from the quantum field, the energy, your atoms, your molecules, your tissues, your organs, your systems, your body. So here's this video. I just want to quickly put the sound through. Sorry, I just didn't do that when I opened the presentation. One second. I just got to put share sound. Okay. Okay, this is about a 6-minute video. Turn your volume up if it isn't already, and just have a listen to the power of visualizing when it comes to healing. And there is enormous evidence today that this, my friends, is the most powerful way to heal.
So then, if you wanted to create a new personal reality, a new life, you'd have to change your personality. Which means you'd have to start thinking about what you've been thinking about and change it. You'd have to become aware of your unconscious habits and behaviors and even what you say and modify them. And then you'd have to look at those emotions that keep you anchored to the past and decide if those emotions belong in your future. So most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. We literally have to become someone else. In other words, thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. And how you think and how you feel creates a state of being. So most people have experiences in their life that brand them emotionally. They feel fear, they feel anger, they feel bitterness, they feel frustration, they feel insecurity. And those emotions then become part of their identity. So once they think certain thoughts that turn on certain circuits in their brain that are equal to their insecurity, and then they feel insecure. The moment they feel insecure, they think more insecure thoughts, which makes more chemicals for them to feel insecure. And the repetition of that cycle over time conditions the body to subconsciously become the mind of insecurity. So then the person says, I am insecure. And whenever you say, I am anything, you're commanding your mind and body towards a destiny. So then most people's biology is, for the most part, their past. And so if you're not being defined by the vision of the future, some new possibility in your life, you're only left with the old circuitry in your brain and the old emotions of the past. So the question then is, can you believe in a future that you can't see or experience with your senses yet, but you've thought about enough times in your mind that your brain is literally changed to look like the experience has already occurred. Now, the latest research in neuroscience says you can change your brain just by thinking. So then, as you begin to think about a new possibility, and your brain begins to fire in new sequences and new patterns and new combinations, and you begin to plan your behaviors, and you begin to review in your mind, mentally rehearse who you're going to be in your life. The mere action of mental rehearsal begins to install the neurological circuits in your brain. Now your brain is no longer a record of the past. Now it's in fact a map to the future. And if you were then to begin to emotionally embrace your future before it's made manifest, in other words, you're not waiting for your healing to feel wholeness. You're not waiting for your new relationship to feel love. You're not waiting for the mystical moment to feel awe. You're not waiting for your success to feel empowered. That's the old model of reality, of cause and effect. In other words, the materialist, the person who's waiting for their wealth to come to feel abundance, they're living by that model of cause and effect. But the quantum model is about causing an effect, which means you begin to experience your own worthiness and your abundance before it occurs. You have to feel wholeness in order for your healing to occur. We have to feel love for ourselves and love for life in order for us to have love in our life. And so then to instruct people how to teach their body emotionally how that future could feel like before it's made manifest, if they do it properly, their body as the unconscious mind begins to believe it's living in that future reality in the present moment. And they're beginning to signal new genes in new ways that begins to change their body to look like the event has already occurred. So the process of change in the meditative model requires unlearning and relearning. It requires breaking the habit of the old self and reinventing a new self. What we say in neuroscience, pruning synaptic connections and sprouting new connections, unfiring and unwiring and refiring and rewiring, unmemorizing emotions that are stored in the body and then reconditioning the body to a new mind and to a new emotion, no longer signaling the same genes in the same way, but signaling new genes in new ways. Beginning to pull your energy out of the past and beginning to invest your energy into the future. What we're teaching people how to do is not to pray to have their prayers answered, but to get up from their meditations as if their prayers are already answered. Because when they're combining that clear intention of their future with that elevated emotion, they're literally changing their energy, they're changing their brain chemistry, they're changing the way their brain works, they're changing their genetic expression, they're changing their chemistry. They're literally becoming somebody else. And over again, when people do this, it may take them months to turn their disease around. But over and over again, we've seen this. They come back to a certain level of awareness, and the disease is no longer there. And it's almost like the disease existed in the old personality. They're literally someone else. And we've seen it enough times now to know that people reach a certain point with themselves where they feel so whole. They feel so satisfied with who they are. They feel so happy with themselves and their lives that they could care less if they have the disease. And that's the moment it goes away over and over again.
So for those of you who know, that's Dr. Joe Dispenza. For those of you who don't know who Dr. Joe Dispenza is, he's the author of a best-selling book called You Are the Placebo, and also Becoming Supernatural is another book he wrote. And that man healed himself from a crushed spine, being hit by a 4x4 Bronco while he was on his bicycle, flung 5 meters into the air and landing on his back. He crushed the spine, and he went to 4 different orthopedic surgeons, and each one said he needs to have the Harrington rod surgery, otherwise he'll be paralyzed from the waist down. And in a moment of going from doctor to doctor, and they all said, you will be paralyzed if you don't have the surgery, he got this like intuitive thought in his head that said the power that created the body heals the body. The power that created the body heals the body. And in that moment, he decided to heal his crushed spine himself, or using that power that created him, call it whatever you want, universal source energy, God, whatever that may be, which is the energy that's beating your heart, filtering your blood, every single bit of metabolism in every cell in your body is operating by some divine infinite intelligence. And if you allow that energy to flow, it's healing. And Dr. Joe Dispenza lay down for 6 weeks, which he calls dark night of the soul. And he couldn't keep his visualization in literally reconstructing his spine bone for bone. He knew what the x-rays looked like. Every chip of splintered bone, he imagined sticking it together and building it together. And then every now and then his mind would say, you're an idiot, you're going to land up in a wheelchair. And that's negative thought. And then he would come back to visualizing, and he'd go on for a long time. And then his mind would say, you're an idiot, you're going to land up in a wheelchair, just have the damn surgery. And he struggled. And eventually he pursued this visualization. And then one day he managed to go for several hours without one negative thought. And he said in that moment, it was almost like an energy flowing through his body. He could feel almost like a kind of electricity going through him. And he knew in that moment he was spontaneously healing. And by the way, he was back on his feet and back on a bicycle 10 weeks after that accident. He wouldn't have even accomplished that had he had the Harrington rod surgery. And he's in perfect health today. And that's what he goes around the world helping people understand the power they have of using their mind and visualization to create the emotional state of well-being, even though it's a future state. But as you visualize it in the present moment, you're creating all that biochemistry that's changing the body. That's why I said you've got to change your personality to change your personal reality, are his words. You're using your mind to create that future state. So the message, the bottom line of this whole thing I'm saying is, we are not victims. None of us are victims. And we are more powerful than we ever can begin to imagine, and more than we give ourselves credit for. And if we can just have a bit of a paradigm shift and give ourselves the chance to look at new medicine in a new way, in a new light, from a new perspective, and stop relying on outside healing modalities only, and just leaving ourselves passive as victims, we are really missing a massive opportunity to actually heal ourselves in a very fierce and powerful way. And if he can heal his whole spine from crushed, that people said, you'll never walk again if you don't have the surgery. And he was up on a bicycle 10 weeks later. You have to understand the power of that story. And that's only one of thousands and thousands and thousands of stories. I personally know the Silva Method trainer in Singapore who healed herself from full body paralysis on the one side after crushing her spine, falling out of a 2-story building. So this is not made up stories, and he's not one in a trillion who's very rare. He just did the work. He just sat down and pursued the process of visualization every single day. And that's why he said, talking about other people, he said it might take months. He didn't say a few minutes or a few hours or a few days. He said months, because we do need to create that future state. And with repetition, the body starts to change with that energy field and all that biochemistry with that visualization, and creates that new state of being. And maybe I'm highly optimistic, but I believe this is possible for anyone who is willing to do the work. And when I say do the work, to take the time every day to visualize a better, healthy state of being. Otherwise, we will remain victims, which is the word disease, or we can become empowered and understand what is dis-ease. And dis-ease is emotions. And if we can turn the negative emotional state into a positive emotional state, the body is going to respond to that and actually heal. So number 2, the first is visualization. Number 2 is meditation. Now, I have to tell you, yes, 13 things. I could have gone on with another 13, 23, 33, 43, 53. There are so many benefits to meditation. There are just so many positive side effects. But let's start with the very first one. And this alone is enough. If it's stress reduction And meditation it's the number one antidote to stress. The number one. It is way more powerful than anything else. And if anyone is taking any form of prescription medication for stress, I could not urge you strongly enough to find the courage and the willingness to start a meditation practice and a regime and slowly wean yourself off that medication and start to trust the innate healing abilities of your mind and your body, because that stuff is so bad for you. And it might have one benefit, but it's got at least 50 negative side effects, and you're conditioning your body in the wrong direction. Antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication may be necessary at a certain time and place for a person who's in a very bad position, but to rely on it and stand it ongoing is really not the solution. And especially antidepressants, because you just numb the emotions. And from the initial opening of tonight, the webinar, talking about you cannot suppress emotions and you cannot delay the processing of the emotions. If you try to do that, you will land up with a physical ailment in your body, even if it's 40 years later. And these strong medications and chemicals often do that. All they do is delay it. They put like a pause button on whatever it is that needs to be dealt with. And it's always emotions. Remember the tiger? There was the tiger, and the thing is, there's no tigers today. So what are we so afraid of? It's our negative emotions. And we need to find a way to process them. So if number one for meditation is stress reduction, anxiety management, depression management, just those three alone, you can see with repetition and practice, you will absolutely 100% guaranteed reverse these things. I'm not a doctor, so this is a caveat and a disclaimer alert, but I personally know people who have turned their depression around, no medication, and completely released of depression through nothing but meditation alone. So I'm confident when I say, if you are willing and if you do the practice, the hope and opportunity to heal your body is off the charts. It really is. We are not victims. And then meditation naturally lowers the blood pressure. It actually lowers cholesterol. It definitely strengthens the immune system. It's the state to boost the immune system and accelerate all healing. Improves memory, regulates mood, increases self-awareness, which is really important, because the more you meditate and you increase self-awareness, the more astute you become to when you are actually stressed and you go, whoa, this doesn't feel good. But then the antidote is to meditate again and calm yourself down or deep breathe. But you become way more self-aware and stop running the old patterns of being in the fight or flight response. It helps with addiction management. When I went to Vipassana, which is a 10-day silent meditation retreat in New Zealand, there were people there who, I'm not kidding, had come off heroin addiction by meditation alone. Sitting there after day 4 or 5, they had like some massive shift. And the people left there after 10 days never touching drugs again. There were people who had repeated Vipassana, and they were the ones they had repeated, but the first time that they did it, they actually got off addiction. Meditation improves your sleep. It reverses the aging process, by the way, not just in the brain. The whole body looks better and younger, but they've proven with brain scans and studies that it reverses the aging process in the actual brain itself. It also reduces negative emotions. So these are all linked. Just to think, a person who doesn't meditate and they start to meditate, I always hear them tell me, after about a week of meditating every day, they suddenly feel happier, more optimistic, more hopeful about life. And it's from nothing else but meditation alone. So number 12, reducing negative emotions, is absolutely true. Also increases tolerance, patience, and this is really important, imagination, creativity, because that's what we require to use visualization. So we take meditation, calm our bodies down, get all those benefits listed there, and then you actually use the imagination to imagine yourself well, healthy in a future state. And this makes such a difference. And I know it to be true personally through my own experience and through people that I know. And it really just is that choice, and that I don't want to use the discipline But discipline, if you want the right definition, people think, oh, I'm not disciplined, I don't have the willpower. Discipline is really doing what you need to do no matter how you feel. And that just means that every day I'm going to meditate. Every single day I'm going to visualize, even if it's for just 10 minutes, on better health. And you say, I'm just going to do it regardless of how I feel. Because some people say, oh, I've got to feel like it before I go and do it. Well, discipline is just saying, I'm going to do it, no matter how I feel. And then what happens is the minute you take the action, the feeling comes. That's like motivation to actually do it and to do it again and to continue the practice. It comes from taking action. If we ever think we've got to feel our way into a feel like it state before I do it, we may never actually do it. And here it says meditation can reduce the areas of anxiety, chronic pain, depression, heart disease, and high blood pressure. So when we meditate, the heart rate drops, your respiratory rate drops, so your breathing slows down, and that's when you actually activate the parasympathetic nervous system, and then the body is healing itself and starting to repair. I love this quote. Buddha was asked, what have you gained from meditation? And he replied, nothing. But then he continued, however, let me tell you what I've lost: anger, anxiety, depression, insecurity, fear of old age and death. So meditation, if there's one thing everybody on the planet really must get into the practice of daily habit practice, it's meditation. I love this. Come on, inner peace, I don't have all day. So if anyone doesn't meditate daily or doesn't know how to, or they say I struggle to meditate, please just get the Silva Method Long Relax. It's free. You can get it off my website. Just go to the homepage and scroll down and get it there. If you practice that every day, it's half an hour. It's equivalent to 4 hours of sleep for the body and the mind. It has all those benefits that were listed there and actually starts to reverse that threshold of stuck stress that we're so used to and accustomed to, and start to create a new state of being where you're actually calm, you have more positive emotions, you have more sense of inner peace, and your body bit by bit will and absolutely start to heal and repair itself no matter what your condition. And if you have any doubts on this, please contact me afterwards. It's just through practice and repetition and being determined to persevere and not looking for a quick fix. You know, in today's world, I was talking about this yesterday, when we look for a quick fix, we actually found a compounding problem. It's like we're going to pay the bill with interest. But if we actually don't look for a quick fix and look for the right fix, making the right choices for the body and natural healing, we actually get long-term benefits, and they are sustainable with no negative side effects in the long run and no rebound effects. And meditation is one of those. Right. Number 3, mirror work. So for all those lovely people who know about Louise Hay, who wrote Heal Your Life, she's the one who came up with mirror work, and that's exactly what you see in the picture here. It's saying affirmations. It's a practice of using a technique of looking in the mirror into your own 2 eyes and saying positive, loving affirmations to yourself. And you might think that's a bit odd if you haven't heard this before. But the truth is, when you look into your own eyes in the mirror, did you know that you program your subconscious mind directly and immediately? It's that powerful. We trust our own voice and we trust our own eyes. When we look in our own eyes, it's a very powerful you and you deal, and it does work. So I love mirror work. There's something called the 21-day learning to love yourself mirror work, which is a free PDF of Louise Hay. You can just Google that and download it. It takes about 10 minutes a day, and every day is a little bit different. And on the second week of it is 3 weeks. You also heal the inner child. So why do we need to heal the inner child? Because we all criticize ourselves way more than we criticize anyone else. And when we're using the inner critic, who are we criticizing? We are always criticizing the inner child within us. And we do all have a child in us. We have a parent in us, and we have the adult in psychology. So that inner child is always with us, no matter what our age is. And you know what damage you do to a small child if you keep criticizing them? They're going to become smaller and smaller, as in contracted energy. And when we criticize ourselves, listen to this, at a deep subconscious level, we actually punish ourselves. So when we have regret, remorse, we feel like we've made a mistake or had a failure, and we don't like that, we might not do it consciously, but subconsciously we are criticizing and, I'll say it again, punishing ourselves. And what does punish result in? Pain. Pain in the body. Sickness. So mirror work is absolutely essential. Everyone needs to do mirror work, in my view. And if you've got children, it's wonderful to get them started on mirror work at the youngest age. It also develops a very positive self-image. Some of the bonuses of mirror work is increased self-confidence, a great feeling of freedom. Just open your arms. Just try it. Open your arms wide, and that feeling of I'm open and receptive to all the goodness in this universe. So that feeling of this versus a contracted, closed energy. Inside validation, a better feeling of self-worth, being more authentic as a person, having much more love for yourself, which is really necessary for healing. Especially when we have a sick or painful body, we dislike it. So we actually reject that pain or dysfunctional part of the body. And even terms like, I'm going to fight this cancer. Why fight? That's a combative word, and that's a negative energy. It's not a positive, loving energy. When we need to heal ourselves, we need to love ourselves, love the pain, the painful part of us. If it's the cancer, there's a book written by Rhonda Byrne called The Greatest Secret. Not The Secret, that was her first book, but one that she's written more recently called The Greatest Secret. And I've done a Meaningful Monday on it. Please watch it. It's called How to Release Negativity in 2 Quick Steps. One of those steps is this, where you actually embrace the thing. It's called the welcoming technique. And even with illness and pain in the body, if you just try it, even with a headache, I've tried this myself, you just say, you too are welcome here with love. It just goes away. Try it. If you've got very strong negative emotions, someone really triggered you, you just close your eyes, take a breath, and just say, this too is welcome here. This negative emotion is welcome here with love. And you actually do that with your arms. It just goes away. How? I don't know. I cannot explain it. But this was a technique in her book. I tried it. It absolutely works. For any one of you who've watched that Meaningful Monday, I got such positive feedback. Out of all my Meaningful Mondays, I must say I got probably the most feedback on that one, about that welcoming technique. And that's exactly what it is here. More love for yourself, especially when your body is ill. And then, of course, when you love yourself, you pour out and you can love others more. Being true to yourself, strengthening your connection with yourself, and overcoming insecurities and healing your inner child. So just some affirmations. Louise Hay, her most standard one is, I love and approve of myself exactly as I am. If that seems strange, if you did that in the mirror, just give it a go. Say that 10 times in the mirror after this webinar. And if it feels a bit weird to you, then you need it the most. And if it feels comfortable to you, that's a good thing. And you probably have a good relationship with yourself and a lot of self-love. This is mine. I just got a few sentences together from partly Louise Hay, some other sources, and this is mine. I love myself, I believe in myself, and I'm worthy and deserving of fulfilling all my desires. Because you know what? If we don't say this and claim that, then we don't really feel deserving. And that's not at a conscious level, guys. It's at a subconscious level. So we don't realize why we are often stuck in life. It's just because at some deep subconscious level, we don't feel we are worthy and deserving. And we need to tell ourselves we love ourselves. And to believe in yourself is the answer to getting out of all our problems, no matter what they are. This is from Louise Hay. If you feel resistant to change, look in the mirror and affirm, it is only a thought, and a thought can be changed. I'm open to change. I'm willing to change. And I greet new with open arms. That's it. We must greet the new with open arms. I'm willing to learn new things every day. Each problem has a solution, and all experiences are opportunities for me to learn and grow. I'm safe. Also to say I'm safe, I'm loved, I'm well is really, really very good for us to heal. Some powerful affirmations, if you do mirror work, or just these are most typical ones. I believe in myself. I'm a wonderful person. I'm learning to trust myself and be more confident. I'm worthy and deserving, I'm willing to love who I am, or I'm learning to love who I am. If you can't say I love myself or I love you in your own name immediately, then say you're willing or you're learning. That's the way we begin. To claim I'm strong or I'm capable of overcoming anything. When you're feeling weak and in a sense of kind of hopeless despair, and you just repeated this affirmation 10 or 20 times, you will see how your energy and your brain literally changes. And you say, I'm capable of overcoming anything. And you suddenly feel stronger, more empowered and hopeful. No challenge is too great for me. My life is abundant and fulfilling. I'm committed to my personal growth. So that's number 3. Number 4 is nutrition. We know how important it is to eat well. I don't have to tell you that. And remember omega-3s and omega-6s. Extra virgin olive oil, salmon, avocados, very, very important, especially because the brain is made mainly of fats. So we need to have these good, healthy fats to have a healthy brain and healthy nervous system. And of course, lots of fruit and veg. Today, I bless with love every mouthful of food I eat. Just to say that before we eat, or say grace, if that's what you do, or to even energize your food. I know that sounds crazy. If you've done the Silva Method, we learn to energize anything, water. So put your hands around your food and imagine positivity, intention, health, vibrancy, vitality, and you focus that onto the food and then you eat it. Is that crazy? No, it's not crazy. If you've heard of Dr. Emoto, which is about how he changed the properties of water through positive and negative intention and positive and negative emotion. That's how we heal with dynamic healing in the Silva Method or remote healing. Positive intention is absolutely real and scientifically proven. So we can do that even with the food we eat and have better quality food. If anyone wants good references on how to get nutrition towards health, these are 2 great books by this wonderful man, Dr. Andrew Weil, 8 Weeks to Optimum Health or Spontaneous Healing. Number 5, words have power. So this is actually a technique in the Silva Method. On the left are typical statements that we might say, which are really bad for us and program us negatively. So this is just a quick example. And on the right-hand side is what we would say if we overwrite it. So let's say you catch yourself saying, I'll try. Well, try predisposes failure. So if you catch yourself saying, I'll try, just go cancel, I will. Like, I'll try and meet you at 7, cancel, I will meet you at 7, or I will exercise tomorrow, or I will meditate daily. I can't is very limiting. Cancel, somehow, some way, I'll find a way. Never use the word hate, causes acid in the body. Just say cancel, I prefer, whatever do you prefer, or I'm learning to accept whatever that thing is. I need a break. People who break a bone, if it's yourself, you'll know this, and if it's someone else, ask them. When you broke that bone, at that time and that moment in your life, did you feel like you needed a break? And 99% of the time, people will say yes. I was actually very stressed and very busy, and I felt like I needed a break. And then you literally get a break. Even in Louise Hay's book, Heal Your Life, she's got the whole list there of medical conditions and how they are directly a manifestation of thoughts and emotions that we hold. I'm tired. Cancel, I could do with more energy, or I could do with a good sleep. This is impossible. Cancel, I'm open to learning new things, or somehow there's a way. I'm sick and tired. If you keep repeating that, the subconscious mind is literal. It's the literal mind. It doesn't know that it's just an expression. And over time, if you repeat that statement, you are going to get sick. And you feel tired when you're getting sick. So instead of saying I'm sick and tired of the traffic, just say I prefer it when the traffic flows, or whatever it may be. Should, eliminate should from the vocabulary if you can. It causes guilt, makes you wrong. Cancel, I could. Now you have choice. I could have exercised today. I could have meditated today. Not I should have. That makes you wrong. Victim mentality. Why does this keep happening to me? Cancel. What can I learn here? If something goes wrong in your life, the only question you need to ask is, what can I learn? What is this situation trying to teach me? And if you can answer that question, you get something valuable. And once you've got something of value, you actually transform a negative situation into a valuable one. This is a waste of time. Cancel. This is a learning experience. There's a whole list of phrases from the cancel technique. Again, if you go to my website, fill in your name there, you can download the PDF and also the free guided meditation. So, the mental thought patterns that cause the most disease in the body are criticism. And by the way, self-criticism has to first exist before people are critical of others. So if you are critical of others or judge people, just please know at a subconscious level, you're doing that much more to yourself. And of course, anger, negative emotion, resentment, very powerful negative emotion, and guilt, very bad negative emotion, and also causes pain and disease in the body. Don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke, because your body, which is your subconscious mind, can't tell the difference. Words have an energy signature, 100%, and they cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Isn't that interesting? Change the way you speak about yourself. Speak positively about yourself, and then you can change your life. What you're not changing, you're also choosing. Very powerful. Okay, number 6, exercise. We all know that exercise is really good for us. We must exercise. We must, every one of us. Why? Because the human body is designed to move. Exercise releases all these positive chemicals, serotonin, dopamine, endorphins. They help you heal. Walking is one of the best forms of exercise, and it oxygenates the brain and the body. Walking in nature is extremely healthy and has been proven to lower blood pressure, reduce stress chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol. And the truth is, the human body is designed to move. If you don't move it and use it more and more, it becomes weak and weaker and more fragile and prone to injury and pain. And the only thing that gets better with use is the body. Okay, so I love this. I choose forms of exercise that keep my body strong and healthy. My body responds positively to movement of all kinds. What a lovely affirmation. And when we embrace exercise and do it regularly, we know we all feel way better, even mentally and emotionally. Number 7, these are definite pollutants. Wi-Fi. Every night when you go to sleep, switch the Wi-Fi off in your house. Create a habit like that. If you're not using it in your office and you're doing some other work where you're reading or working on a document, switch it off. It is bad for you. Screens, microwaves, 5G, fumes, smoking pollutants, toxic relationships. This is a big one. All kinds of chemicals. Read labels. Become more open to bad chemicals. Cleaning chemicals are really bad. If you want to help to go more pure, that like doTERRA essential oils or whichever essential oils, as long as they're good quality, they can do absolutely everything that the cleaning chemicals that we buy at the shops can do, but they're very healthy and natural for you. Candles, air scents, air fresheners, if they're not pure natural oils, are carcinogenic, if you didn't know that. Toilet spray, any of these aerosol things or smelly things in the car that they hang after you have a car wash are carcinogenic. Powders, talcum powder even, cooking in plastic, releases dioxins, also carcinogenic. Just be aware, help keep your health in good check. This guy's quote, in our world, these harmful microorganisms and an endless list of toxic chemicals constantly assault our immune system. Coupled with these assaults are the daily stresses of life and their deleterious effects upon us. Bad for us, in other words, just bad for us. And last but not least, food for your soul. Everyone sitting here knows that there's something that's honestly food for your soul. It could be loving a pet. I get that feeling. I love animals. Hugging a person is really, really good for your soul. Nature, one of the most healing things you can ever do. Prayer, 100%. Beautiful music, and make sure it is beautiful music. And I'm just reading a book at the moment, and it emphasizes so much knowing the lyrics of songs before you just listen to them, because they go straight into your subconscious mind and program you. And if they're negative, they're not good for you. And if you pay attention, 95% of love songs, by the way, are the most awful words. I can't live without you, or I'm dying to be with you, or we might say, they're just expressions. As I said, the subconscious mind is literal. So just be aware of the music that you play, and good music is really healing in itself. We know that frequencies are now being used more and more to heal the body. And there's many devices. Tesla's made a device, it's just one of them, that actually create a frequency that we know heals the body. Dancing. Dancing is very good for you, very good for the immune system, uplifting your energy. Swimming in the sea, natural and healthy, and laughter and joy. So nature, beautiful and healing. And any time spent in nature, even if you close your eyes and put an audio on of the sounds of birds singing or water sounds every day, even if it's for just 5 or 10 minutes, absolutely can soothe your soul and restore you into a good state of homeostasis, well-being, and help you heal. And every one of these things is actually free. So it just takes, what does it take? It takes self-love. Self-love meaning that we're intentional about taking care of ourselves and improving our health and getting away from constant snowballing of ill health, which is complaining. If you complain and complain and complain about your ill health, I'm here to tell you, you're not doing yourself any service. You're creating a compounding problem. Because if you take a very healthy person and get them to complain, even if they know they're faking the complaining, they've proven it degenerates the immune system. So imagine being unwell and then complaining, even though it feels factual, real, painful, and not nice, even though it feels like that, it does take intention and discipline to say, as that video of Dr. Joe Dispenza, he said, we do need to be willing to force our brains to create that future self and continuously move towards that better version of ourselves if we want to create healing. So whatever makes your soul happy, do that. All right, just to sum it up, here are 8 things to improve your health, and there are many more. These are just a few of them. Visualize, meditate daily. I would recommend mirror work. By the way, guys, I do mirror work of Louise Hay, the 21-day mirror work. I do it every year, at least twice a year, at least twice, maybe 3 times. Why do I do it? Because I know the benefits. They actually improve my everything. They improve my business, my finances, my health, my self-love, my relationships, the way I feel about every day. So if you haven't heard of it, please look that up. 21-day mirror work. It's a free PDF. Or you can buy for $120 the video program off Hay House. Healthy eating, managing your dialogue, your inner dialogue, exercise, be aware of pollutants in your life, and do things that really soothe your soul and make you feel good. And bit by bit, we can stay healthy, stay young, and get better and better. And I love this quote because it's very true. Natural forces within us are the true healers of disease. And even the book like The Placebo Effect have proven that it's actually our belief in a tablet that causes the effect, or our belief in a surgery or in some application that has the most power on us, and not the tablet or surgery itself. It's our belief in it, because our minds are so powerful and they are continuously creating our body. Our body is a physical manifestation of our subconscious mind and what we have holding in there. So I hope that's been helpful. And if you have any questions, you can let me know. Just to share with you about the Silva Method. I know some people came on tonight specifically looking for the Silva Method. If we just speak about healing alone, in the Silva Method, the whole program is about advanced visualization. And that's what we learn and practice. And healing is definitely one of the techniques. The cancel technique is that one I shared with you earlier. We do that in the Silva Method and practice that. That's to manage your inner dialogue. Sleep is one of the foundations of all health. Sleep. It's like saying it's like sleep are like the wheels of a car. If you took a brand new Ferrari and put crappy old wheels on it, it won't drive properly. It won't drive well. If you have a puncture in one of your 4 wheels on a Ferrari, it won't drive properly. Sleep is the foundation of your health. And in the Silva Method, we have a sleep technique to sleep anytime, anywhere without the use of drugs, because sleeping pills are very, very bad for you. And they don't help you repair your body in the alpha sleep state. And the clock technique, to not use an alarm clock, because an alarm clock causes you to wake up with the adrenaline response, which is the fight or flight response with all those stress chemicals of cortisol and adrenaline, which are causing your body to degrade. So those two tiny things already make a big improvement. We also have pain management techniques in the Silva Method, such as either the mirror of the mind, the gone, gone, gone technique. We have the headache technique, which works like magic. We practice mind-body healing, both on ourselves and on others too. We use the creative imagination, and as Dr. Joe Dispenza said, this is something you've got to be willing to do and practice to improve your health and go towards a better health. Just to visualize and to meditate is amazing for brain health and neuroplasticity. And did you know that people who just have never meditated and meditate daily for just a few days, their brain actually changes? And that's the power of giving yourself at least 15 minutes a day, every day, of some peace and calm and meditation and even positive visualization has astounding compounding effects. Bit by bit, every day, you'll get better and better. And that's what we do, what we call dynamic meditation, not passive, dynamic. So we use the mind in a relaxed state. All right. Any comments, any questions, please drop them in the chat box. Otherwise, the next events coming up is the Silva Method, which is online in July. It's the only online class for this year, and it's over 2 weekends. Those are the dates. The price is $1,500 for the 4 days, 9 to 7. And once you've graduated, you can attend the Silva Method for free for the rest of your life. You just pay nominal seat charge. The next mastermind that's coming up is one of my favorites and one of the favorites of people actually who come back here, who love this one. It's The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Waddles. It's a 9-week mastermind. If anyone's done Think and Grow Rich with me, this book is completely different. There's not one chapter that's even similar or the same. So it's just amazing how we're talking about rich. And we're not just talking about money here, although this is about getting rich with money, but you've got to be rich in every area of your life. And spiritually rich is where we need to first be before we can really experience rich in our relationships, rich in our finances, rich in our contentment and fulfillment in life. It's really rich in every area, rich in health. And there's an early bird if you're interested in that, which ends in just a few days' time, the 6th, so in just about a week's time. So if you're interested in that, jump on my website. You'll find these 2 events there. Otherwise, let's have a quick guided meditation. We'll do it quickly. So grab a pen and paper. I'm going to just guide you into a relaxed state. And then when you're in a relaxed state, ask you a couple of questions at the end. And if you haven't done this before, just write down your first impressions. Don't analyze anything. Don't question anything. Just write down your first impressions. And this will come from your own intuition or your higher self. So grab some pen and paper, and I'll just put some sound on. Someone can give me a sound check and tell me you can hear this properly. There, Marika, thank you. Okay. Just hold on a sec. Find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, relax your body completely. Just imagine your body relaxing from the top of your head, starting with your scalp, and flowing slowly downward throughout your body like a wave of relaxation, releasing any tensions, any ligament pressures, any tension in the body. Just let it relax and kind of melt away. Take another deep belly breath in and just let go and relax. Continue to breathe deeply, slowly and rhythmically, and relax. Relax your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Relax your chest and abdomen. Relax your thighs. Relax your knees. Relax your calves. Relax your feet. It is a wonderful feeling to be deeply relaxed, a very healthy state of being. To relax the mind, I'd like you to imagine your ideal place of relaxation. It's either a place that you've been or some place that you create with your mind. Just let it be a place where you feel totally relaxed. And as you experience this place of relaxation, I'd like you to now create a waterfall into the scene. This is a waterfall of beautiful white light. And this waterfall of white light is a calming energy, a healing energy. Your waterfall of white light is now created. I want you to imagine walking over to the waterfall of white light and experience it flowing all over you, encompassing you within its glow. And you just experience and you feel all the stress and clutter and tensions just washing away. And as the waterfall of white light flows over you, it's removing all the tension and clutter of your entire lifetime. Your entire energy field is being cleansed and cleared. You have now reset your mind and your body for the month ahead. And now I'd just like you to imagine that that waterfall of white light turns to green. And this green light is actually unconditional love. And just feel that love flowing over you. Feel a sense of self-love, of universal source energies love, of just being completely enveloped in this beautiful, healing, unconditional love. Feel it flowing throughout your entire being. Feel soothed and rejuvenated and restored. And now, as you've reset your mind and your body, we're going to now set your intention for this month ahead. With your pen and paper resting relaxed in your hands, just write down your first impression to these questions. The first question: what do I need to focus on for the month ahead? And write down your first impressions. What do I need to focus on? Once you've written down your answers, just take another slow, deep breath, close your eyes, and just re-enter the meditation after each question. And relax. The next question is, what steps do I need to take me closer to what I want to be, do, or have? What steps do I need to take? Remember to write down anything that comes to mind. Continue to breathe calmly, deeply, slowly. Stay relaxed. The next question is, what do I need to let go of or release? What do I need to let go of or release? Next question, what do I need to embrace? What do I need to embrace? And the last question, is there anything else? Is there anything else I need to do? Anything else I need to know? Is there anything else? And allow deep breath and relaxed. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3 and cause a sound with my fingers. And at that moment, you'll open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. 1, 2, coming out slowly now. 3, eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. Welcome back. Just a belated welcome to Navid or Navid, how I pronounce that, Monica, Julie, Peter. I didn't see you before, so welcome and thanks for joining. Any questions from anybody? Any comments? You're welcome to open your mics or put it in the chat box. Did you enjoy your meditation? Did you get any answers that were helpful? Anything at all? Very quiet, you people tonight. Must be the South African atmosphere. At least someone's smiling. Anything from anyone? Any comments? No? Otherwise, I wish you a wonderful week ahead, month ahead. Great. Thank you very much, Denise. Thank you for joining.
Nice to do this before bed.
Excellent, Anna. Good for you. Yeah. I'll just stop the recording.